That you have for your work time and your actual family time? Like, how do you balance
That
that?
have both a son and a daughter, they would admit that they spend more time emotionally with their son, building their son, than their daughter. Do you feel that? Like,
No,
do you feel
I've
like
seen that.
your daughter's more mature emotionally?
Yeah.
And
Because
you don't
she's
need
given
to
her no, because
say
she's
as
been
much
given.
as your son, because I think we're just basic. Some of our dudes are like young, we're
No,
basic. Like, we're
that's
dirty
true.
little.
No, but it is
yeah.
true. You've got to get. I've realized this
Because
very,
I'd
very
love a
much.
little girl, but I don't know if I can handle a little girl.
No,
love,
I've
you know
learned.
what I mean? Like,
I've learned this a lot from watching watching my cousins and my and a lot of people growing up. One reason why male needs more nurturing is, honestly, because they are a destructive force. As a male, your job is to tend that destructive force.
Girls are
It is to
destructive forces.
no. Girls are ten
That's the
times. Hold
thing,
on,
yeah.
I'll show you why. No, but I'll show you the difference between the two. Men are destructive to the world. When a man gets upset, he literally lashes out on everything else around him. He will smash up the corners, the cobs, everything else. When a woman gets upset, she internalizes it. She's destructive to herself. She's highly no. A lot of
I agree with you on that.
from what I've seen, a lot of women are very self-destructive to themselves. They will lash out.
When your girl
but
is
a
mad
lot-
at you, she keeps to herself.
A lot of the time, yeah.
You're
Wow,
lucky.
that's
we go cold shoulder.
That's what I'm saying. They go
But I-
complete cold shoulder on you. They start, and then they bring up something 20 years later. Is when they start the argument. But trust me, you can see that storm coming. You may not be paying attention, but before she even gets to that point of being volatile mad, dog, there's a whole storm of quiet before that.
No. I'm getting the bitching right there, right now. No matter where the
Yeah, can I weigh in on this? Yo,
back
to that show for real.
She don't give a shit who's fucking around. She's gonna bitch me the fuck out. I got bitched out for coming home late for working.
Everyone displays differently, so I get where Lip's coming from and saying, hey, women lash out, but it's all about a show, right? Everyone's gonna show how they are externalizing their rage, and it's really a core of who they are. So if you're aggressive and you're physical, that's what you do, man or woman.
Nice.
You will go out, because there's women that will key up cars. They will sit there and cause a scene in the middle of the mall just to get their point across, because they're just expressing themselves on how they do, right? Some man's internalized, like they can stew for days. Like you have some of your boys where you'll piss them off, and it'll be like, yo, someone's wrong with you last
You won't
week.
see that nigga forever, bro.
I feel men will internalize it more.
Right.
No, but
and
men-
that's why they explode.
No, but what
when
I'm
they
saying to you is,
explode.
that I'm not talking about the aspect of what you see. What I'm talking about is what they do to themselves per se. Like I have witnessed this time and time
But that's
again.
the-
But
But
I
that's
feel
the
men
thing.
do it to themselves
But
first.
that's the thing,
No,
that's
I'm talking
because-
about when we're children.
Because even in society.
I'm talking about when they're childs, because like when I watch my son, he will my son will literally destroy. Like if he gets irritated, he goes through the biggest remarkable high of like being in a temper tantrum to being the worst low, crying on the ground, to all of a sudden 30 seconds later being fine.
That's
Why?
a 1-year-old.
But he also recognizes attention. So nothing about you. AJ is like the boss. He recognizes attention. So when he's doing good and he's playing, he wants that attention. He knows that reinforcement, whether or not it's positive or negative. So all he's doing is amplifying that. And that's how a lot of kids learn. You have some kids that externalize their behavior and some internalize it because they feel that they don't want that attention.
Yeah,
right? Some
that's
kids,
true.
like, if they have aggressive parents or they lash out a lot, and they see that when it's time for them to act a certain way, they don't want to bring that individual close to them. So they separate themselves from that environment, knowing that, hey, if I do something, that entity, because a kid, they don't know how to identify them as mom, dad, love, this and that. That being is problematic. I don't like the noise. I don't like his aggressive movement. I don't like how she does certain things. She's sporadic, and they avoid that. Going back to your original question or statement about the generational, I think it's because of the fact that as the world becomes hyper-connected, people are becoming more aware of stuff. That's why we're seeing a huge shift through the demographics, more immigrants coming in, more access to resources, more information. So everybody's trying to attach themselves to things that they never got. So when we were growing up as men of color, because of the fact that our culture was designed that way, it's saying a man them work out, you get love from what I do from you. The house I keep over your head, that's my love. The money I do, that's my love. The things you're able to buy, whether or not it's brand name or ting, that's my love. And your mom was always the one saying, I cook, I clean, I keep you good. When you're hurt, that's my love. When we get the I love you, you know, that's a bonus. But that's why now, for us, we're kind of seeking that. When we don't get that from our relationships and from our peers, we're kind of set away because we've been exposed to it, right?
Yeah, we now know what's on the other side of the fence. Like I've said, like I've been on my little picket side, not knowing anything else. Then I came to Canada, and all of a sudden, I'm seeing niggas like talking about how they love each other and family hug-ups, and it's a little weird.
But that's why,
like, straight cuts is a little weird.
I'm still the guy be like, yo, that's sucker shit.
Yeah, but that's
No,
why.
but that's my point. No,
Yeah,
you
but
grow up
I'm still that guy.
Have you seen that the whole thing about mans and having multiple women them and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It's a certain degree of love. Again, it's being hyper
Externalized on top
externalized.
of it.
So when you're sitting here and you're saying, "Yo, I'm having enough girls coming at me and showing me that emotional thing that I lacked when I was growing up," I'm gonna latch to it. That's why a lot of these men can justify multiple relationships, even if it doesn't make any sense.
It's the reason why you see a lot of our fathers and the peoples that pairs before
Wait,
us
but
all
you
had
didn't-
multiple girlfriends anyway.
Except for you,
They were
because you
seeking-
pay for it, so they know where they belong.
Hold on. Yeah, I pay for it because I.
Hold on.
You know that.
'Cause
I
I
didn't know
have
that.
to. No,
I
no,
didn't
I
know
didn't
that.
know he can get laid, but it's just you just don't want a relationship. That's why you pay him to leave.
Thank you. But wait, what I want to say was. Oh, shit.
Oh, you lost it. Your shit's usually good too.
And I was trying to, but I forgot. Oh,
Drew, you have a girl.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
not for long. I'm gonna
How does that work?
stab
For
that.
you, like,
Jerry's like, it's tax time. I'm getting that.
Girls
No, no, it's
are-
all good. We're gonna put up a petition.
They
to
keep
get
it inside. Guys, they.
Well, to be honest with you, my daughter's too. So to tell you how she deals with her emotions is a little bit hard to guide through that right now. Because one minute she's happy, next minute she can be pissed off. But mind you, 80% of the time she is a very happy girl, but me and her mother make her that way. Like if me and her mom, remember I was saying that it doesn't matter who's around, what's around, if my girl's pissed, she is gonna let me know.
Yeah.
You know, the only time she doesn't do that, when I tell her, you see that little girl right there? Stop your nonsense. Because she doesn't need to see it. It ends.
Right.
Because I don't want her growing up seeing her mother and father fight.
Right.
It's not necessary.
respect for both parents is,
Yeah.
is key.
It's not necessary, okay? She should be happy all the time until she's in high school, gets a boyfriend, the boyfriend breaks her heart, and I break his kneecaps.
All right.
I feel you on that one.
Well,
We gonna reenact that bad boy scene, right? You already know I'm waiting for that shit.
Her kneecaps.
Hey, this is true. Hey, don't assume her gender.
If it's a her, she get a
Actually,
stern
that's a pretty
talking
good
to.
question, right? What if
Sandra,
you're,
what
what
if
if
you
you're
said your girl, like,
serious
you check
question.
this.
Serious question.
Can't do
Okay.
nothing.
I'll call my sister.
There you go.
Oh, we're gonna
We're
go
going
down
there.
because I thought we were there.
No, different subject. I mean, but it comes down to because we're wrapping this up. But I mean, final thought for each guy, and I want to hear your biggest thoughts on this. It says, how much time do you have? Like, if you're gonna equate the day to 24 hours in the day, right? How do you equate what is enough time for your family, and then what is enough time for work, and then here's the big one: what is enough time for yourself? Because there's this time in the day where, come on, boys, we don't get no time for yourself. You can be on the road all goddamn day. You can be, like, in your case, you can be on the road fucking 18 hours. For your case, you can be driving and shooting podcasts and fucking series all goddamn day.
I never get alone time.
In my case, I could be literally running around between the production, the studio, all the other shit I do, plus work, and then the companies I'm trying to start. For you, I know it's because you're a single dad. You literally got him glued
Yeah,
to your
I can
hip.
make this one quick on my end because
Yeah.
you're.
How much time do you get? Like, how much time do you
Actually,
for yourself?
How do you balance it?
Yeah.
That's the thing for me. I don't get much alone time. And that's, some days it's a lot. But here's the thing. First, I'm a big believer on having to take care of yourself and being a little selfish, or else you will grow up to resent your child because you're always stressed out. You're doing whatever. So we have Sunday. We get together every Sunday, right? So I need that day for me. Other than that, I think every parent's big decision is, do I chase the money more or do I sacrifice time or money? Because to get money, you know that you gotta sacrifice time. So are you gonna sacrifice time with your kid and the money? And I think everybody's different on that. How much money do you believe is worth sacrificing that time with your child for?
How much time?
And I think that matters on how much money you think you're gonna need.
No, I mean,
So-
how much money do you need? That's the real equation where it comes down to. It's like, if you think about it,
you
how
never
much
know.
you never know how much you really
You need as much as you can get, right?
Because
Like-
to be honest with you, I'd be chasing money on a daily, so it becomes to a point to a habit.
Sure.
So
when do you sacrifice? Like, what do you guys? Yeah.
I got a little bit. Make his final thought. Yeah.
Well, how you make time? My only time I get is at 5:30 in the morning, brush my teeth, wash my face, and after that, when I get home, and just because I'm saying this on camera, don't get it twisted. I will sit in my parking spot. I will roll me up the biggest spliff, and I will sit in that bitch for about a half an hour smoking and watching YouTube.
You'll stand outside of it.
Well, okay, I'm staying outside of it, but I ain't driving.
You're standing outside the truck.
And I'll be smoking that shit for a good half an hour, watching YouTube, chilling. Then I'll go upstairs and get bitched at, and get pulled. Daddy, toys. And
Alright,
make some
OG.
more YouTube videos.
OG, why do you get your time?
Time is nighttime. Like, they go to bed.
When they go to bed.
sometime. They go to bed sometime. So as soon as they go to bed,
I mean,
I do
for
my
me,
thing.
for me personally, I don't really sleep too much, so that's the benefit of not sleeping. I get a bunch of time when everybody else is finally knocked out. Like, he knows and y'all know I'm always up 5 a.m. in the morning when these niggas have problems. I'm the weirdo they call because I'm always up. So it's like, for me, that's how
Or
I
I
get my
just
time.
troll you at 3 in the morning.
I know
I'm
you
high.
do. Oh,
I'm
I
high.
know you
No
do.
one's up. I'm just gonna troll them.
I know he does.
I like that. I'll be like,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm live. That's knowledge.
Droop dog.
CheZZa.
And that's the Dad Report. Thank you for tuning in for another episode. Tune in next week when we have some more episodes coming to you soon.